Surah Alfatiha opens with the words, "In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate." These words teach the believer that every action begins with God's name and that His mercy surrounds every moment of life. His mercy is not distant or occasional. It is constant, overflowing, and reaching every creature. When a believer begins with His name, they enter their recitation with humility, gratitude, and trust. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. This verse reminds us that every form of praise, whether for blessings, beauty, wisdom, or goodness, belongs to Him alone. He is the Lord who created every world, every realm, every creature, and every heartbeat. He nurtures, sustains, and guides all things with perfect knowledge and perfect care. Nothing in existence is outside His lordship, the most merciful, the most compassionate. These names appear again to emphasize that mercy is the foundation of the relationship between the Creator and His creation. His mercy is what brings us into life, what forgives our mistakes, what guides our hearts, and what gives us hope even when we fall. The repetition is a reminder that no matter how far a person feels, God's mercy is always near. Master the day of judgment. This verse shifts the listener from the world of daily life to the world of ultimate accountability. It reminds the heart that a day is coming when every soul will stand before its Creator. On that day, no wealth, no status, and no power will matter. Only sincerity, truth, and righteous deeds will remain. Allah alone will judge, and His judgment will be perfect, just, and final. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. This is the central declaration of the surah. It expresses devotion and dependence in a single breath. Worship belongs only to Allah, and help is sought only from Him. The believer admits their weakness and acknowledges that they cannot worship properly, cannot live rightly, and cannot remain firm without His support. It is a moment of surrender, humility, and deep connection. Guide us to the straight path. After praising God and declaring devotion, the believer makes the greatest request, the request for guidance. The straight path is a path of clarity, balance, and truth. It is the path that leads to God's pleasure in this life and His reward in the next. Guidance is not merely information. It is light placed in the heart, strength placed in the will, and clarity placed in the mind. The path of those whom you have blessed. This is the path of the prophets, the truthful, the martyrs, and the righteous. It is the path of people who combine knowledge with action, sincerity with patience, and faith with obedience. Their lives were marked by devotion, wisdom, and steadfastness, and a believer asked to walk in their footsteps. Not the path of those who earned your anger, nor of those who went astray. The surah concludes by warning against two dangerous paths. The first is the path of those who knew the truth but rejected it, who recognized guidance but turned away from it. The second is the path of those who acted without knowledge, who followed desires or confusion and lost their way. The believer asks Allah to protect them from both extremes and keep them firm on the balanced, illuminated path of guidance. Surah Al-Fatiha is a covenant between the servant and the Lord. It begins with praise, moves to devotion, and ends with a plea for guidance. It teaches a believer who Allah is, how to relate to Him, and what to seek from Him. It is a foundation of prayer and the summary of the entire message of the Quran.